Programımıza dünyada commissioning yaklaşımları oturumuyla devam edeceğiz. Moderatörümüz Emre Özmen'i davet etmeden önce kısa özgeçmişini paylaşmak isterim. 1972 yılında doğan Emre Özmen, sırasıyla 1990 yılında Konya Anadolu Lisesi, 1994 yılında İTÜ Makine Fakültesi Makine Mühendisliği bölümü, 1997 yılında ise İTÜ Fen Bilimleri Enstitüsü Robotik bölümünden mezun olmuştur. Çalışma hayatı 1994 yılında EMO Teknik firmasında Otomatik Kontrol Departmanı Sistem Çözüm Ekip üyesi olarak başlamış. Toplam 10 yıl çalıştıktan sonra 2005 yılında Sistem Çözüm Ekip Yöneticisi olarak bu firmadaki görevini tamamlamıştır. 1997-1998 yılları arası MSB Ankara İnşaat Emlak Başkanlığı Mühendis Asteğmen olarak çalışmıştır. 2006-2011 yılları arası 10 otomasyon firması kurucu ortak olarak çalışmıştır. 2013-2014 yılları arası Tüzlüt firmasında otomasyon konusunda danışman olarak çalışmıştır. 2014 yılından günümüze E.ON Grup firmasında kurucu genel müdür ve otomasyon sistemleri tasarımcısı ve danışmanı olarak çalışmaktadır. 2018 yılından günümüze GEPA Grup firmasında kurucu ortak genel müdür ve commissioning uzmanı olarak çalışmaktadır. Sivil toplum örgütleri, TTMD Enerji Komitesi Sekreterliği, Başkan Yardımcılığı, Başkanlığı, Tasarımcılar Komitesi Üyeliği, Commissioning Komitesi Üyeliği yapmıştır. Eurovent Co-Pilot Bina Commissioning Çözümleri Programı'na TTMD adına teknik danışmanlık yapmıştır. İSKA TAT Komitesi üyeliği yapmaktadır. TTMD Dijitalleşme Komitesi üyeliği ve Commissioning Komitesi Başkanlığı yapmaktadır. Halen görev yaptığı aşçı teknik komiteleri şunlardır. Teknik Komite 1.4 Kontrol Teorisi ve Uygulamaları, Teknik Komite 7.5 Akıllı Bina Sistemleri, Teknik Komite 7.9 Bina Commissioning. Beşiktaş Kongre ve Aşra üyesidir. Evli olan Emre Özmen, ileri seviyede İngilizce, orta seviyede Almanca bilmektedir. Oturumu yönetmek üzere sözü Emre Bey'e bırakıyorum.
Teşekkür ederim. Değerli misafirlerimiz, öğle yemeğinden sonra tekrar bir araya geldik. Herkes tekrar hoş geldi. Öğleden önce de bahsettiğimiz gibi şu anda dünyada commissioning yaklaşımlarıyla ilgili bir panel başlatmak üzereyiz. Bugünkü konseptimiz bu. Bu panel 2 bölümden oluşacak. Birinci bölümde 2 tane değerli konuşmacımız var. Yurt dışından geliyorlar. İkinci bölümde yine 2 tane değerli konuşmacımız var. Onlar da yurt dışından geliyorlar. Dolayısıyla her iki süreçte de 2 konuşmacımız konuşmalarını, sunumlarını tamamlayacaklar. Arkasından soru-cevap bölümüne geçeceğiz. Dolayısıyla 2 bölümümüz var. Her 2 bölümde de soru-cevap bölümlerimiz olacak. Konuşmacılarımıza biz hazırlanırken 1 saat tavsiye ettik. Bu 1 saat onların sunumları artı soru-cevaplar dahil olan süre ve onlardan sunumlarında soru-cevaba da süre bırakacak şekilde feragat etmelerini rica ettik. Onlar kimisi 20 dakika, kimisi 15 dakika gibi süreler ayırabileceklerini söylediler ve biz de zaten o soru cevapları da beraber yöneteceğiz. Ben birinci sunumu yapmak üzere Sayın Ubaldo Nocera'nın önce özgeçmişini okuyup sonra buraya davet edeceğim. Ubaldo Nocera, bu arada İngilizce okuyacağım müsaadenizle, yabancılar olduğu için çevireceklerdir arkadaşlarımız. Ubaldo Nocera graduated in 1976 in nuclear engineering at the Politecnico of Milan. Later choosing Parma as the site of its professional activity, holding tasks in design, construction management, testing, and consultancy in the mechanical and HVAC systems, TAB agency, and TAB supervisor activities. Several thousand are achievements of system design, directed and tested throughout the country and abroad. Since 2006, he committed to commissioning authority and commissioning agent activities, achieving the certification of Commissioning Authority Bureau Veritas and ICAR. Since 1988 and for over 15 years, he has been a counselor of the Order of Engineers of the Province of Parma. Former adjunct professor at Politecnico di Milan, both for the Faculty of Architecture, course of Technical Installations and Engineering, course of Building Services, System Design. He has authored many publications both for ICAR and other associations on CDA, Italian installer and magazines. Over the years, he has held various roles of ICAR, member of the council, member of executive committee, director of HVAC school, and with participation in conferences and other initiatives. Since 2015, he is work group coordinator for the drafting of the manual for the hydraulic design, member of commissioning training work group, as well as teacher of commissioning course, and coordinator of the commissioning technical committee. He has been on various committees and work groups, the most recent being as a commissioning expert at REHVA, Eurovent Group, ABCE, CXC co-pilot. In 2019, he is awarded the REHVA Professional Award in Design. Please welcome Mr. Ubaldo Nocera.
Okay, this morning, Emre repeated many times, commissioning is not, many times. I hope, with my presentation, to arrive to define what commissioning is. And to do that, I refer to a case history, but even to my activity in general. But we start with the case history. It's a case history of a wall building commissioning activity carried out at Parma in a new construction site as a new headquarters of a pharmaceutical company. And the owner is very focused on the environmental issues. This building, this complex of building, is composed of 8 buildings for 25,000 square meters of floor area, 46,000 square meter gross area, auditorium of 250 seats, about 8 meeting room, focus room, restaurant, a kitchen that serves 600 meals a day, and the HVAC system mainly is by cooled beams with 2 levels of fresh air driven by CO2 level in the meeting room, about 12 air handling units for a total of 50 cubic meter per second in VAV asset, and driven by the CO2 level and the pressure in the duct. There are different recovery systems. The recovery system in the rendering unit is by means of enthalpy wheels. The humidification is made by cool fog cabinets, heating and domestic hot water by connection to the district heating network. There is a 400 peak kilowatt photovoltaic field. The cooling is by 5 chillers for about 2,400 kilowatts. There is a heat recovery, water to water, for 300 kilowatts with a net machine, a net pump. And the heat is recovered even by cooling the server room for about 80 kilowatts. The total heat recovered is higher than the 50% respect to the heat used around here. This building has early certification, version 4, level gold. And the commissioning activity that is inserted into the lead assessment obviously is the prerequisite energy atmosphere, because the commissioning as a prerequisite. Without a prerequisite, the lead certification is not possible. So the prerequisite is an activity of fundamental commissioning. And the designer ask for more point, more credit by means of an enhanced commissioning activity, in particular enhanced commissioning activity and monitoring based, that give 4 points, and also in an envelope commissioning activity. So the system is entirely commissioned at the end. More, when you assess a building for a commissioning or assess a building for lead, there is the option for a credit demand response that concern demand response technologies and programs for shifting electric load by means of public electricity supplier contracts, particular contracts. So the designer choose even this kind of credit, and the commissioning should test at the end the behavior of this kind of software that permit to shift the electric load. I give you a bird eye view on the activity. I start with a bird eye view on what happened, usually in Italy, but in most part of Europe, maybe. Traditionally, the building construction is performed by design professional and contractors. Two different kind of contract: design bid build, the project delivery in which the investor contract separately designer and constructors, or design bid, DB, where the constructor, the contractor give the services of design into the contract. Two different way. But what happened that during the design phase, the design professional has the responsibility of designing, of the design, architect, engineer, they design. And they have to decipher, to understand what the owner wants. Decipher the vision that has the owner of the building. Create documents, design, specification, and so on, that convey the vision of the owner to the contractor to build, to construct the building. And during the construction phase, the responsibility of the contractor is to construct as detailed in construction document. And when the facility is completed, the system is started up. The operation and maintenance staff are responsible for operating the system according to their training, their own training, with the system manual information and basic knowledge that they have. What is missing in this approach is an owner quality-based procurement process. The method to transfer information is linear, without feedback, or with poor feedback. The information is transferred face-to-face and relies upon key individuals, people, key individual professionals understand and convey the owner's needs, sometimes with without or with poor formal written documents. This is a traditional approach that I think you know, because it is widely used in Italy, but I think in most part of Europe. What is assumed? That construction document completely and clearly convey the owner's criteria to the contractor. This is the assumption. And the contractor subsequently conveyed this operation to the facility management department. This is an assumption, is not controlled, this flow of information. This is an old process, considered as a system of experts. Many experts together with a little bit of interaction, each one not controlled in our activity. So the owner relies on key individuals, and the owners think that at the end there's a perfect building. Unfortunately, this typically result, the information that we have from the experience and is that typically result in a poor performing facilities. The owner needs are not entirely being met, and high conflict at the end, and high cost too. There is another way to approach the building construction. Is the commissioning approach. As you can see, is not a system of experts, but is an expert system. Is a system that control all. Enable the owner to clearly define the success criteria. The first step with an auto-examination that requires time, weeks, months, to understand what I want, what the owner wants. Verify that the programming professional, design professional, contractor, and owner's facility management department continuously achieve the original criteria that are at the base of the idea of the vision of the owner. This is the commissioning process approach. An additional professional figure is required to manage the commissioning process. Commissioning provider or commissioning authority. The commissioning is a quality-based process. And the commissioning is also the acronym, a lot of acronym. For example, this is an example. There's an example from the subject of an ICAR share list, but if need, I suggest to invent for when you write your commissioning plan, if you need, you invent some acronym, because there are different cases. What means quality-based process? This is the key to approach every phase of the commission. There are, as we will see, there are different phases, design, pre-design, and so on. Each phase, the case to approach each phase is say what to do before starting. Say what to do. Write and update commission procedure and documents. Carry out what you said. Follow the written procedure. Follow the rules. You write the rules. You and the other involved into the construction process have to follow the rules. is named the commissioning authority. Is an authority that asks to follow the rules. Record what you did, complete, approve, issue reports and documents during the construction. During not only the construction, but even to the pre-design or design, as you can see. Verify what you recorded with final acceptance test or procedure, seasonal acceptance, integrated acceptance test, and so on. This is the correct approach. Each phase is a quality approach. It's possible to have a feedback that goes from to the bottom to the top. Yes, if something don't work, I can modify and return in the circle. The phases. This is an outline of the phases of the commissioning. It's valid for new construction. For existing building commissioning is not so, because there is a phase, preliminary phase of investigation. But for new construction, the phase should be the 7 phase that I show here. The pre-design phase, planning, programming phase, the owner, in this phase, the owner is very important. Manage the phase in the pre-design. Design phase divided in basic, detailed design, construction design, document preparation, and so on, is a design phase. Number 3 is the bidding phase, okay, that usually is not taken in account. The bidding phase is a phase where design and commissioning are explained to educate the contractor, the possible contractor, to educate at the commissioning, at the design. And more, the construction phase, a transition phase, training from contractor to facility management department, training. It means many days of training, not only I show you how set the temperature in the rooms. No, not only that, but a lot of information to be transferred by the contractor to the facility management department of the owner or a company that. And more an early occupancy and operation phase is important. That this phase for measurement, if needed, measurement and confront the measurement with expectation, to say if there is differences that need some adjustment. And the final is occupancy and operation phase. In this phase should be planned even an ongoing commissioning that in all the building life, no? It's possible to plan an ongoing commission, but we stop at the phase 4 or 5 if we have time. The roles. We saw the roles. The pre-design phase, owner and commission authority. Design phase, you see the acronym, owner, OW, CXA, commission authority. Design phase, owner, commission authority, architect, engineers, the design team. Bidding phase, potential general contractor and project manager add to the team. Construction phase, all are involved in the team. I added the building automation control system contractor. It's very important. Really is better that this contractor or as expert in BACS start in the design phase. At the end of the construction is added the facility management department, and in the post-construction and warranty phase, 10 months after the building, the construction is finished, 10 months, all the figures are involved in the occupancy phase, owner and management department of the building. Pre-design phase is a phase of planning, programming, with a goal setting. In a document, in a very important document is the OPR, Owner Project Requirement. It's a document of decommissioning. It's the first document of decommissioning, in which are defined roles, responsibilities, are defined documentation requirements, are defined which system are included should be included in the commissioning activity. And in the design, in the pre-design phase, there is someone that the owner developed the owner project requirement. And the commissioning authority control, not in that phase, but after, when the commissioning authority adds to the team, and for example, we can see an example of a summary of an OPR content, OPR document content. The owner have to indicate the facility objective, size, location, user requirement, owner directives, environmental sustainability, efficiency goal, indoor environment requirement, including temperature, humidity, ventilation, and so on. Space usage, occupancy, operation schedules, commissioning process, scope and requirement, list of equipment, system and assemblies requiring commissioning, a list, some pages of list, which equipment need to be commissioned, or which equipment the owner want that should be commissioned. Equipment, system and assemblies, expectation, warranty provision, maintainability, very important, access, operational performance requirement, installation, evaluation and testing requirement, project documentation, system manual requirements and formats, training requirements. Even if in a shape not so wide, the owner has to write something for each item. Applicable codes and standards, project schedules, special requirement, sampling procedure, if permitted, because in some building like hospital, for example, the procedure for evaluation and testing are 100%. There is not permitted a sample to test the systems. Commissioning progress report formats and distributed interval. It means that the commissioning report monthly, for example, in this case, the commission authority, in the case history, the commission authority send to the owner a commissioning report monthly or weekly or every 2 months, but depends on the request of the owner. Eventually lead requirement. It might happen that some decisions are not univocal. The owner is not able to understand what he wants, or require, because some decisions require technical and economic assessment. And for example, comfort or energy saving, I don't know if it's possible to save the 80%, depends. And important, the life cycle cost of building that needs more calculation. In those cases, it's possible to leave suspended a paragraph or a chapter, more paragraph, more chapter, until the next design phase, and then update the OPR. It's possible. It's not. Is an elastic. There are feedback during the process. If some point have been jumped or failed by the owner, commissioning authority asks to reconsider. Because at the end or during the construction phase, this kind of if some item is jumped, there are problems during the construction. Someone is possible to do that. Is not planned by the owner. Is not on me. The contractor is not on me. I want money to do that. Is not planned, and so it's important to start with the idea on what the owner wants. Okay. And in this phase, the owner requests a proposal for commissioning activity. By a request for proposal that have to content, just a moment, okay. What the owner have to ask to the commissioning provider. Okay, firstly, this request for proposal is valid when the commission starts into the design phase, at least during the early construction. But the best way is in the design or the pre-design phase. When the contractor is required to appoint a test engineer, a commissioning reference, a commission coordinator of the contractor, this party can be confused and overlapped with the commissioning authority. It's not the same. It's different. And it's important explain and distinguish that the commission provided should be independent from the contractor and appointed directly by the owner. So, in the request for proposal, the owner have to list the scope of service, description of the building, list of the system to be commissioned, and the commission activity, chair commissioning meeting, review plans, evaluate documents, and so on, create and manage. Commissioning issue log is a document very important during the commissioning process, and so on. Assist the contractor in developing and implementing installation verification and startup with the pre-functional test or pre-functional checklist and so on. Develop functional performance test. Direct the commissioning to verify performance. This is the most important phase. Review all final operation and maintenance manual into the as-built document. Review. They are prepared by the contractor. The commissioning authority have to review, coordinate the content of the training seminar to the facility management department, and coordinate, provide the final commissioning report, coordinate the schedule warranty phase. And so on, but I stop here because we have not too much time to do. And in this phase, the pre-design phase, the design team is appointed, the commission authority is appointed with a contract, and there is a pre-design conference. Owner, resident engineer is the facility engineer, if there is. Design team, commission authority, in which the the project is presented, and by the commissioning authority, the commissioning project is presented to the owner and the commissioning team. In this case, maybe there are some answer by owner or design team and so on. It's important to have always written responses. The communication have to change with the written responses. Respond in writing a report. Design phase. Into the design phase, the design team have to detail the owner requirement in a document, important document, the basis of design. The design team explain in which manner the goal of the OPR, the owner project requirement, are reached. In this phase, the commission authority verify that the design achieves goal and that the owner requirements are detailed in construction document and into the design document and the construction document. An example of basis of design. A short example. The basis of design usually is a document, is a statement, but is not a statement, because it's a document that have to support the owner in making decision. The owner is not able during the early phase to indicate to indicate directly what he wants, but be that there are some decisions that needs calculation and so on. This document, the BOD, this is my point of view, have to support owner decision. Otherwise, means that the decision did not involve the owner. If the designer choose, for example, a system HVAC, maybe that the owner asks to have 24 degrees in summer. There are a lot of different systems. Some are very expensive, the other not, and in that phase, the BOD have to help the owner to choose. Every decision and choice, mandatory, economic, programming, technical, is made by following logical process. Three kinds of possible choice to be determined in the BOD. Mandatory legislative constraints don't generate a decision, choices or approval by the owner, so-called mandatory requirement. These are requirements to be met with design proposal and are in charge of the design team. It's not possible to choose, it's mandatory by law, and so the design team have in charge choose to design with this requirement. Different alternative, number two, different alternative. It means that at this stage, there are alternative or mandatory constraints that normally leave more choices and a priori by the client listed in OPR. The number one and the number three are mandatory because in this case there is the law, in this case there is the owner that wants, for example, an office building of 1,000 square meters. In this case, different alternatives should be proposed to the owner with, for example, life cycle cost or different, and the owner is received by the design team help to choice.
Last 15 minutes.
15?
Last 15.
Okay. In this phase, commissioning phase, basic design, but yes, as you can see, there is a phase of design review by the owner and by the commissioning authority, the commissioning provider. With the exchange of information, at the end, the final information goes to the design team for the final decision, and until the decision is done, the commission authority taking account in the document of design master issue log. We can see what means this document. Okay. This is a document where actually a number of issues. The status open, it means that is still open, not solved by the designer. Is a topic is architectural BOD review. The entrance west. This is the data of entry of the issue. The description to define the bike places and so on, and the answer of the design team. Until the answer don't solve the issue, the status is open, and so on. There are, in this case, in the design phase, about 200 open or 200 issues. In this phase, only 85 was closed. The other are opened. With this document, it's possible to take continuously under control the process of the design and the process of the design review. The design, after the basic design starts a detailed design phase. Is a more detailed design phase. Even in this phase, there is a submission of the detailed design, review by the owner, review by the commission authority, and design master issue log to take updated. In that phase of the detailed design, the commission authority start with the commissioning plan, start to write the commissioning plan and commissioning specification. The commissioning plan is a document where where is indicated the procedure for the commissioning. Is in Italian, but what is important is not the description, but the attached document. And I can show you some attached document. For example, communication and document distribution matrix, CDDM. In each phase is indicated which kind of document is transmitted by, to, and controlled by. And more. Commissioning goal, optimize the construction phase, and so on, and the operation to do. The procedure, but we have not so too much time, and we go directly to the appendix 11. Okay. is the schedule, is the proposal for schedule of the functional performance test. The duration of the test, which kind of schedule, 1 week, the predecessor, and the activity of the commissioning authority are listed into the commissioning plan. There are, in this building, there are about 250, 260 performance tests to be done. So to take under control, starting from the cooled beams to the chiller, to the exchanger, pumps and envelope, and so on. So to take under control is important to write what you do. This is write what you do, what you have to do. After the design, in the bidding phase, it's important to plan a bidding phase with a conference, with the contractor. During this conference, there are explanation of the presentation of the project, and eventually written responses to the answer of the contractor that maybe needs or an addenda to the design document to be assured by the owner together with the design documents and to request the final offer to the contractors during this phase, and so on. Construction phase. There are 4 roads. The first is the site observation. During the site observation, the commission authority plan work down to understand the status of the construction and plan the equipment startup, plan the pre-functional checklist, prepare the pre-functional checklist. This is the road of documents that are conveyed in the road of site acceptance, site observation. And at the end, after the functional performance test, integrated test, seasonal test, all the result goes into a system manual that, together with the operating and maintenance data, are used for the training of the facility management department. And at the end, the final report of the commission authority resume all the activity. But, for example, okay, this is a document to take under control the TAB, okay, to take under control the TAB procedure. When the document, the TAB report is submitted, before the approval, the commissioning authority has a list of check to do. And for example, the pump curves are included in the report, the fan curves are included in the report. The work point is marked on the curve. Report contains terminal flow calibration for each type. Report contains grid of traverse measurement, and so on. A lot of this kind of document permit you to approve, taking under control the process. If there are some items not checked, is not. Yes, if yes, at the end, only when all the answers are yes, the report become approved. an example of pre-functional checklist. Handle unit. Usually I insert even the document checklist. Because happen that there are some documents used for construction not entirely approved by the project managing or approved with notice. When we are at this stage, pre-functional checklist, all the documents should be approved, entirely approved. And so in the checklist of the equipment, in this case is an rendering unit, I check even the approval of documents, approved the drawings, point check approved by the commission authority, calibration checklist of sensor. In most cases is requested a calibration of some sensors on site, calibration on site, for example, in the pharmaceutical. Okay? List of test portable instrument, equipment submittal, manufacturer cut sheet, and so on. This is a document checklist, but there is too a construction checklist. Before start with test, for example, in this case, okay, construction checklist, general appearance good, not apparent damages, equipment label affixed, layout and location for trunk panel match drawing, wiring labeled, and so on. In this case, Siemens was the back contractor. SAT Desigo carried out positively. Is the site acceptance test of the backs that is carried out positively by the backs contractor. Controllers are online and so on.
Last 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
okay. And after the pre-functional checklist, the next is, in this case, for example, we have an rendering unit. This is a P&I, and the performance test, the performance of the rendering unit are tested by means of a document prepared by the commission authority. In this case, you can see, for example, the tests are action and reaction. The action is command the rendering unit off. So you have to check if on the backs is on and off or controlled. The status is on and off. The VFD is on and off. The device effectively is on and off. A lot of check. Command fans at minimum. And so the supply fan is on and off or minimum speed. And in this case, for example, should be important to measure the flow by means of transverse airflow measures. To check, for example, the flow meter of air of outdoor air. And during the performance test of the rendering unit, you have to measure effectively with the transverse, with evaluation of the error. In this case, as you can see, the error of the measure is evaluated, taking in account the uncertainty of the measuring location, because in the duct, the transverse measure has this kind of issues that means if the flow is not so stable, the uncertainty of the measure is high. In this case, no, we have a good uncertainty, but at the end, we have an error of the 3.29%. The error requested in this case is -5 plus 10 into the commissioning plan. Okay. The training phase is the last that we consider today, from contractor to owner. And the last document that I show, Emre. Okay. The contents, this is the procedure for the training by the general contractor to the facility management department. List of participants, objective of the training, training cover component, the system of all disciplines, identify components or systems that require formal training, determine the education level of the staff before start with the training, minimum training requirement, instruction use of the automation, instruct use component of each system, instruction use each system, start, stop, standby, seasonal change, operation in critical seasonal conditions, and so on. The training agenda, the list of the teachers qualified, and the list of documentation and tools supplied to the people that follow the training. And so copy of slide used during the training, copy of question and answer during the training, manual, operation and maintenance, final copy available during the train to be used for the training. At the end, the commission authority should check if the lesson learned criteria was reached by means of satisfaction questionnaires, for example, of exposure clarity, communication skill, dedicated time, and so on, to check if the effectiveness of the training. I stop here, but I hope that you don't get drunk by a lot of information in a short time, but I have a lot of things to show, but I stop here, Emre.
Please.
Okay? Thank you.
Grazie.